All right, so let's walk through what it looks like in VS Code to create a project and use version control with that project. So I have a folder opened up called Get for Fitness. And I'm going to create a new page, which will be my readme.md. And it's kind of convention to make it capital. It's not necessary, but I'm going to go with convention. And I'm going to put an asterisk, and then a hashtag, and then I'm going to put my name. I'm going to put 2 hashtags, and I'll put my first Get project. Excellent. And then I'm going to create an index.html, and I'm going to do an exclamation point and tab so it fills in all of my structure. I'm going to put an h1 tag, and I'll call this my first Get project. Perfect. Okay, so this is just for demonstration. Obviously I would probably add more, but I just want to demonstrate how Get works in VS Code. So you'll look up here and you can see that there's this option for terminal. So if I click on terminal, I can choose new terminal, which will give us an integrated terminal. And all that means is that it's a command prompt within Visual Studio Code that works exactly the same way as your Windows command prompt that you saw in my videos. And so the next important piece before I even get started is I need to make sure that either in this is a Mac piece, a Mac window, and not a PC. But regardless, it's still going to have the folder name here, whichever operating system you're using. So you want to make sure that you have Get for Fitness, or whatever folder you're working on is what's showing up in your prompt down here. They don't necessarily go hand in hand. In other words, when I open up the terminal, it doesn't always correspond with what's going on here. So if yours does not show Get for Fitness, or whatever your folder name is, you can right click on one of the files and you have the ability to open an integrated terminal, which then makes sure that the terminal path matches your folder path. That's really important, because otherwise you're going to initialize a Get project somewhere that is not your intention. It would be whatever this path says rather than the path that we need. So now I can go through the process. We're going to first initialize this Get init as a Get repository locally, or we're going to let us Get know, hey, pay attention to this folder. You'll see that it says initialized empty Get repository. So I have it now. This project is now being watched by Git. I can do a Git status just to verify that it is in fact watching. It says I'm on the main branch. That's the name of the branch I'm currently on. It's letting me know that, hey, there's some things in here that Git hasn't paid attention to yet. It knows nothing about. That's what untracked files means. And then it says there's nothing added to commit, but go ahead and track with your git add. So we're going to do that staging, as it's called, with the git add command, just like I did in the videos. So it says git add, and I'm going to go to period, which says git add all of the files and subfolders that might exist here in Get for Fitness. So then I get back kind of nothing. It doesn't look very like what happened. So I can always do a git status again, and it lets me know that changes are ready to be committed because I've done the stage properly. So we have to kind of organize our files first, and then we can commit them or do like a file save as. So that's when we're going to do the git commit. So I'm going to do git commit. You always need to add a message, so you have to do the -m, which is a flag is what it's called, and it says I'm about to give you the message that needs to be included with this commit. So I'm just going to say initial commit with the readme and index.html. Okay, and then close that with the quotations. So git commit -m quotations and the thing I want to add to my commit message. So then I can hit enter. And then, just to be sure, it looks like I have some things happening here, but I'm also going to do git status just to verify that my working branch is clean. That means I have just done a successful commit, or if you want to think about it in the terms of Word, file save as. I've saved a version. I've locked this commit, this version of my code in time.